Alright, welcome to our 8th episode of TACTALK. This is Season 2, Episode 8. I'm your host, Holden Morris. So, we're gonna jump right into this episode. First, I want to say that our heart goes out to the family of Natalie Corona, the rookie police officer who was shot and killed about 5 days ago now during responding to a routine traffic stop. It turns out that she had been wanting to be on the police force for quite some time, and that she had taken pictures, I guess, during her senior photos with the thin blue line American flag, the American flag that displays the one blue stripe across it. She took a picture, very beautiful young woman, took a picture with it in a blue dress, which looks like the matching same color. Obviously, she had her heart set on being a law enforcement officer. She even had videos of her when she graduated from the police academy, her family cheering and everything like that. So she wasn't about the hierarchy of things, the control going to law enforcement because you've been bullied all your life. She wanted to actually help her community. She came from a family of law enforcement personnel. She saw the benefits in being a lifer when it comes to making a career out of law enforcement. And, she was in it for the long haul. She was shot and killed about 5 days ago now. So our heart goes out with the family of Natalie Corona. I apologize. Sucks. Normally don't do those kind of shout-outs because, police officers, they're a dime a dozen. We have all sorts of violence happening all the time. And to hear about a rookie cop going down, that sucks. Someone who just started their life. So moving on. Right now in Washington State, there is an attack on concealed carry. So we have Washington Lieutenant Governor skips speech over gun fears. This is January 15th, 2019. Washington State Lieutenant Governor declined to preside at Governor Jay Inslee's State of the State speech because he was concerned people might bring concealed weapons into the joint session of the legislature. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to read this article. And then I'm going to tell you my opinion about it, regardless, afterwards. So, Olympia, Washington, from the Associated Press. Washington State's Lieutenant Governor declined to preside at Governor Jay Inslee's State of the Speech Tuesday, saying he was concerned people might bring concealed weapons to the joint session of the legislature. Lieutenant Governor Cyrus Habib, a Democrat, noted that the State House of Representatives, where the speech was given, does not have a policy banning concealed weapons, the Daily Herald newspaper of Everett reported. There's no specific threat to me. There's no specific threat we know of, period, Habib said. It's about the policy. Let me rephrase that. There is no specific threat to me. There is no specific threat we know of, period, Habib said. It's about the policy. The House and Senate ban openly carried... Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. The House and Senate ban openly carried weapons in the galleries and in the Senate, where Habib is the presiding officer. He extended the ban to cover concealed weapons as well. Habib, who was blind, said he was concerned the House policy leaves elected officials vulnerable. Other statewide elected officials from the 9 Washington Supreme Court justices to the Commissioner of Public Lands attended. In an emailed response, the officer of the Chief House Clerk, Bernard Dean, called Habib's decision regrettable. Washington state law is clear. Properly licensed concealed carry permit holders are allowed to carry concealed weapons on the state capitol campus, including the galleries, the statement said. Absent any specific security issue and in accordance with the law, the House kept the galleries open so that the public could see its government in action. Democratic Representative John Lovick of Mill Creek, the Speaker pro tem in the House, presided over the joint legislative session for Inslee's speech in Habib's absence. Inslee, who is mulling a possible 2020 Democratic presidential bid, highlighted climate as his top issue in his annual address to lawmakers, who started their 105-day legislative session this week. So, that's the end of the article there. Basically, Habib, you're a prick. You're blind, you can't do the job, get out. I mean, it's as simple as that. You're blind, obviously you can't do the job, get out. It's as simple as that. Habib, what the hell? Come on the show. I'm calling out Habib to come on the show. First of all, like the article clearly says, that absent any specific security issue, in accordance with the law, the House kept the galleries open so that the public could see its government action. So here's two options, Habib. You either are so far against guns that you're afraid to step out your own front door now. Although you can't see anything, you're afraid to step out your own door now because of what you hear, regardless of any threat made to you or anybody you know, which there's no threat made to you or anybody you know. You just refuse to go into certain areas because of your fear of a weapon. Now, let me tell you this. It was Sigmund Freud who said that fear of a weapon is a sign of sexual retardation. So, I mean, if you claim to be a man, you claim to be masculine, what are you afraid of? I mean, get your own damn concealed permit. I mean, you can't see, so you can't shoot. That's fine. In my opinion, if you're a blind man running politics, you shouldn't even be there. Like, I mean, it's not like I can hand you a report and you to read it. You're gonna have to pay someone an extra. You gotta pay someone an extra wage just to read that report to you. You're useless on the job. You need to get out, especially because you're a Democrat. You need to get out. To hold legislative speeches like that, to basically try to get your way and hold it hostage, is not gonna happen. I mean, your fear, which we'll call it your fear, your slight sexual retardation of a weapon, shows that you obviously can't you can't do your job. As Lieutenant Governor, you can no longer do your job. So we're going to call for your resignation. We want you to step down. We don't care for you anymore. You had your chance. You blew it. Secondly, this is, again, another attempt at a PR stunt to demonize concealed weapons holders. I mean, what the heck? Like, it's open to the public for a reason, and you're telling the public that you can't trust them because they might have a concealed weapon on them? I mean, I'm starting to get upset here. I'm starting to lose my patience and my words here. We're going on 7 minutes. So, long story short, read that article. Lieutenant Governor Habib, get out. We do not want you. You're attacking now concealed carry. You're making yourself look like you have sexual retardation on top of that. And, yeah. So I'm gonna leave the links for this article on both the YouTube and the Facebook live broadcast. And we'll highlight it as Lieutenant Governor Habib's sexual retardation. And yeah, we'll go from there. The second half of the show, we're gonna be talking about the I-1639 gun shop owner who found a hole, who shoots a hole, quote unquote, from the article title, in I-1639. And then we're going to talk about why it's important to hold on to your weapons because of what's happening in France right now with their own police turning their own weapons on their own people. So we'll be right back. Please stay tuned for the commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thanks for listening. Bees Combat Systems at beescombatsystems.com. Protecting those who prepare. 801-987-0893 for custom body armor carriers and tactical gear for military, law enforcement, contractors, corporate security, responsible citizens, and border patrol. Bees Combat Systems at beescombatsystems.com. 801-987-0893. Alright, we are back. Thanks for tuning back into TACTALK. This is our episode 8, season 2. Last segment we spoke about Lieutenant Governor Habib and his sexual retardation. Now what I want to do is I want to mention briefly how the gun dealer shoots hole in I-1639. I'm just going to read that article to you. We'll speak about it. And then I want to go on to what's happening in France right now. If my article will load it. As posted as of January 13th, 2019. So we're going to go ahead and read the article. This is published January 7th, 2019 by Roger Harnack. But what I call Talos tactical owner Matt Caesar, I don't know, that started off. The owner of the gun shop at 4096 West Van Gleason Street vowed last week to continue selling hunting rifles to adults older than 18 and younger than 21, despite the enactment of portions of Initiative 1639 effective January 1st. The gun control measure restricts all sales of assault rifles to state residents older than 21 as of January 1st and enacts a myriad of other gun control regulations. According to Matt, here's the loophole. While the gun control measure defines assault rifles to include all semi-automatic hunting rifles, the definition does not become law until July 1st. This leaves 6 months 6-month window for law-abiding adults between the ages of 18 to 21 to continue purchasing semi-automatic rifles legally. I spoke with Matt for a while last Friday, and as with all businessmen, he didn't make the decision to shoot holes in the initiative lightly. He did his homework. We didn't throw caution to the wind, he told me. Adding his decision to continue selling is the right thing to do for his business, his customers, and rural residents everywhere. I have no intention of breaking the law. I'll continue to sell everything I legally can to everyone I legally can until I legally cannot. That day comes July 1st. In the meantime, he hopes the law will be rewritten or thrown out in court challenges, and the law is being challenged. Last month, Republic Police Chief Lauren Culp took heart for saying he wouldn't enforce Initiative 1639 in Centralia, yes, west of the Cascade Crest. Lewis County Sheriff Robert Snazza came under fire for saying he won't actively pursue violations under the new law. Call it law enforcement nullification of an unconstitutional law. I like that phrase. In addition, the City of Republic has also been roundly criticized by Western Washington gun control advocacy groups for discussing a measure that would declare the city a sanctuary from the overreaching gun law, which is also being challenged in U.S. District Court in Seattle by the National Rifle Association and Second Amendment Foundation. The legal challenge and nullification efforts are welcomed by Matt, myself, and other rural lifestyle advocates. So we're going to end that article there. It goes on for a little bit more. I'll leave the links in this YouTube broadcast as well as the Facebook Live broadcast. Just speaking briefly on this topic, that he's right. He's right, and I've got some different gun owners scheduled to come onto the show once they've sorted out their lawyers and their appointments and all the different. They're very busy people right now, so coming onto this show, which is not broadcast to the whole state as much as I would like it to be, is not an option at the moment. But they do have plans. We are in communication. They do want to come on the show. I'm excited for that to happen. Moving on. Like I said, I'm going to leave links for that in the YouTube and the Facebook Live broadcast. Now, what I really, really, really wanted to take the second half of the second segment to discuss with you guys is French riot police are now using semi-automatic weapons with live ammunition against yellow vest protesters as Macron's law and order crisis spirals. And this is why it's important to hold onto your guns. Because in France, they have very, 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 very strict gun control laws. In fact, we saw it in the last 2 years where terrorist attacks have happened in France, at the Eiffel Tower and different parts of France, where bombings have occurred. People have been ran over. 40, 50 plus people have been ran over by uncontrollable vehicles that were obviously being driven by jihadi terrorists or extremists. They don't have their gun rights. And now that the government has taken advantage of the people and has taxed them so far up the ass that they actually are out in the streets rallying, trying to get their government to work with them, to cooperate with them, to quit abusing them and their privileges, now the police have been ordered by the hierarchs to open fire on the yellow vest protesters because of the potential violence. Now remember, this is how you get this kind of order. When you have a peaceful protest, it's only a matter of time before that peaceful protest turns into a riot, an uncontrollable riot. Now, how do we get it to control a riot? It's called crowd mentality or crowd psychology. The crowd psychology basically works like this. Most people are afraid of repercussions. Most people are afraid of consequences. So if you're going to instigate a fight, if you're going to start theft, if you're going to break a window, like we see a lot of times here in Seattle with the anarchy groups, it's likely that individuals will not do that unless there's a crowd around, because the crowd helps them blend in, helps them escape the consequence and the repercussion, as well as crowd mentality allows for other people to see that if you're getting away with it, they too will get away with it, and that's called crowd mentality. That's another reason why I don't really like crowds too much, because it's a very fine line between a peaceful protest and a violent riot. So that's what's been going on, is you have, in my opinion, these police agencies that are out throughout France putting in undercover provocateurs to turn these peaceful protests into violent riots. And these provocateurs are doing just that. And they're dressing up like yellow vest protesters, and they're starting violence, and they're punching cops, and they're attacking them, and they're, of course these guys are immune to any type of consequences or legal repercussions because they work as agent provocateurs. However, that's how you get your false flag order to be able to open fire on an unarmed protest. So that's what's going on. Now we have the police out with semi-automatic weaponry and live ammunition. Now I dare something like that to happen here in the States. I dare it. I mean, I fully welcome it. I dare our government here in Washington State, our governor, Jay Inslee, and our Attorney General, Bob Ferguson, and as of right now, our Lieutenant Governor, who's trying to say that either he doesn't want you to see how government works within the chambers, or he wants the chambers to ban concealed carry. He wants a constitutional right to be taken away, or he doesn't want you to be able to see how your own government that you pay for works. I dare any of those three retards to attack our gun rights in the sense that they order police to open fire. Because those police won't be going home that night to their families. That's how simple that is. They don't know how many guns we have, both registered and unregistered, here in Washington State. I mean, our logs are so far backed up that they can't even file all the concealed weapon permits registration here in the state. So it's getting ridiculous. But that's proof, example, ample enough proof why you hold on to your rifles, why you don't let them take anything. Let them define assault rifles however they want. I'll become a criminal if they make my rifles legal. So it's as simple as that. I'm not calling for any type of action, but what I am saying is action will call itself if we start to go down the same road that the French are going down right now. So that's peace be with the French. Let's not shoot at your own people anymore. I mean, at this point, we're going to have people trying to figure out how to run guns to France from America. So, moving on. We're going to have to end our show there. We're about 8 minutes into the second segment. I do want to say thank you if you tuned in. Those are the 4 important topics I want to speak about today. Natalie Corona, our hearts are out with her family. The attack on concealed carry by Lieutenant Governor here in Washington State. I-1639 gun shop owner who has found a hole. And, of course, what's going on in France. So, again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. All the links for your interest are going to be at the bottom of the screen here on the YouTube broadcast. If you're on the Facebook Live broadcast, and the links are going to be off to your right. So, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Alden Morris, and we will see you again this week for TACTALK. Thank you.